Welcome to Art with Miss Q and Green Crayon. Join Green Crayon and I as we pass the torch to visiting countries across the world as we create works of art influenced by artists or cultures of these countries. The Olympics is held every 4 years and began in Greece several hundred years ago and made a revival in 1896. This year, the Olympics will be held in Beijing, China. China sits in the continent Asia and is home to over 1.3 billion people. Billion people. That's 4 times as many people living here in the United States that lives in China. China is native to panda bears, the lotus flower, and boasts a rich history of art, architecture, and culture. We will focus on the word symmetry for all grade levels today. Symmetry is the term we use to describe different parts looking the same or identical around a central point. And the point can be a vertical, a horizontal, or a diagonal axis and acts as a dividing line that mirrors the same image. Today, K-2 will draw a panda bear. Grades 3 to 5 will focus on the symmetry of a lotus flower. And middle school students will focus on the symmetrical architecture of a pagoda. I'll see y'all on the drawing board. Hey friends, today we're going to draw a pagoda, and a pagoda is a tiered tower with multiple eaves, and they are commonly found in places like China, Japan, Korea, Vietnam, and other parts of Asia. For today's lesson, we're going to need a blank sheet of paper, a pencil, an eraser, a Sharpie for those who would love to outline before applying color, and of course, an assortment of color pencils, your markers, or crayons, whichever medium you prefer. I'm going to go ahead and clear my board. I'm going to start off using the pencil first, and then I will gravitate towards adding an outline with my Sharpie. So the word of the day is going to be symmetry, and we're going to talk about vertical line of symmetry. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a very light line down the middle of my page, and this will act as a mirror. So whatever happens on one side, the left side, will reflect exactly the same on the right side. So for our pagoda, and pagodas are traditionally symmetrical all the way around. So whatever I draw on one side will have the same thing on the other side. So I'm going to start off with the base of my pagoda, and my paper is in a portrait mode. And this is going to help with the height of the pagoda. It's going to help create the illusion that it is a lot taller. And in a lot of my drawings, I'm going to press lightly until I know it's right, and then I'll do some erasing. So this is the base of my pagoda. This is tier 1. So it's a little bit, I'm going to use my fingers to kind of help measure. I'm going to curve that line. In my base, I'm going to have a doorway. This is like a little ledge, if you would. This is just a little extra detail. This is the base of layer 2, tier 2. Okay, let's go ahead and add in some details. 3, 4, 5. That's going to be our middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These lines are going to appear to be closer at the top, and then they'll look like they get a little bit wider at the bottom. This is just going to help us with perspective. So I'm going to do one on one side and just about almost the same on the other side. Okay, and let's go ahead and add some more details. So these look like they get wider and wider as we go around the pagoda. And then right about here, we're going to create some windows. And we'll have some smaller lines going up here. Just one. These are going to get smaller as we go towards the top of our pagoda. These can have some diagonal lines. And we reverse the direction. Let's extend this line. We almost want to mirror the same line going this way. And then if we really want to create some emphasis of 3-dimension, I'm going to erase that very light line that I placed in the middle. And I'm going to actually curve the inside. This is going to create the illusion that there's floor space or depth towards the inside. Some floor panels, some wooden floor panels, and maybe a wall space right here. Okay, let's go ahead and create a horizon line in the background, and that horizon line is going to tell us that our pagoda is on the earth, it's on the floor, and then towards the background is going to be our sky. So this is going to show a little bit of depth, and even in our sky we can create mountains. Okay, let's go ahead and outline. Let's add a little more detail. And then we can add some X's on the inside, some diagonal lines. And usually pagodas are very, very tall, so I'm just going to create the illusion that right in front of it there are clouds. This could be at the very top end of the pagoda. So now we're going to take off these pencil lines. We're going to go ahead and add some color to our pagoda. And today's colors, I'm going to use a mixture of red and yellow and some orange. Let's add some color to our pagoda. If you have gold, you can use gold. If you don't have gold and you have more of an orange tone, you can use orange. When I'm adding color, I like to use the side of my color pencil rather than the tip. The tip sometimes gives a more of a scratchy, textured look. Of course, it also depends on how you press with your color pencil. I like to color in both directions. That way I am creating form with height when I'm coloring up and down, and also width when I am applying color in a horizontal manner. I'm going to use some yellow. And the inside is going to be a little bit more on the darker side. The inside is going to be a little bit on the darker side, and this is because there's a shadow on the interior part of your pagoda. I'm also going to use the color black. That will help with the transition of color. Also help with your perspective, that there's a little bit of depth going on the inside. I like to use my white as a blending tool. So for my different layers of tiers, I'm going to color in the direction of my lines. So my lines are telling me to go closer as I go up to the top and a little bit further away as I get down to the bottom of the tier. But I'm also going to color in an opposing direction, more of a curved manner rather than left to right. These lines are more of a curved nature, and this is just helping create that form, that a little extra three-dimensional form. What also helps us is if you have a darker red, you can use your darker red. If not, you can just add a little hint of black. Even though we know it's all one solid color of red, that black really just helps with the perspective and helps create a little bit more depth and the illusion that you have something that is three-dimensional. You can use the same technique in using crayons, color pencils, and even markers. I like to take my white and then in just a few of these spaces just add a little extra highlighting. The white is also acting as my blending tool. Okay, and let's go ahead and add some color to the background. I'm going to use some green. I'm going to use 2 shades of green today. Closer to the pagoda, I'm going to press a little bit darker. That way there's a little bit more emphasis that's highlighted around the pagoda. And as I move away, I'm going to use the lighter shade of green. And because we are creating the illusion that this is above the sky, if you would, it's not technically above the sky, but we're just creating the illusions because pagodas are traditionally very, very tall. I'm just going to use a little bit of blue in this section. I'm going to use blue towards the background into my sky. Again, I'm using the side of my pencil and not the tip. This gives it a very much relaxed look. Almost like you want just a little bit of a hint of color. And my mountains are almost like a hazy color, so I'm going to use some gray. When I use my crayons, I like to use it in a circular manner, especially when you are trying to cover larger areas with color. That way your crayons they don't end up with a streaky look. Of course, you can always place more emphasis by pressing a little bit darker in some areas. There you have it, friends. Our pagoda with an emphasis on the word symmetry. Zoida, how? That's Mandarin for great work. I can't wait to see your artwork. Till we meet next time. Zarjian. That means take care.